is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lord. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And Everson Walls
Hey,
here.
when you going to get me on the audio, man?
We're going to have to work on that.
We got to officialize this thing. Come on.
I talked to Douglas Barraclough about that yesterday or the day before.
Get on it, Doug.
Yes, come on. Cubbies in the building, and we are here in the SWBC Mortgage Studios. And you know what? It's time to win some football games around here, wouldn't you say?
Sounds like from everybody, their happy meter, it's past time to win some football games.
It's time to win some football games. In fact, Jerry Jones was making the rounds this morning on local television, and that's what he was saying.
Time to win
some football games. And he sounded encouraged that they're going to win some football games, and it starts tomorrow at 3:30 at AT&T Stadium against the Buffalo Bills.
Well, you know, his post-game comments kind of scared the children a little bit, so he wanted to make sure they didn't have nightmares when they went to bed at night. So he wanted to ease things a little bit, let everybody know, hey, we're not going to panic here. We're not in panic mode. I just wanted to scold the kids a little bit. So now we're back on track. We're back to the optimism that is Jerry Jones.
That's exactly right.
You know, I thought even when the schedule came out and before they got to this point in the season with this record, I thought with these 3 away games in 4, starting with Detroit, that for them to kind of come out on the back end of that, that they needed to win 3 of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think that's got to be the goal. Got to win 3 of these 4. You've lost the 1, so now it's time, as you said, to start winning.
And the game that you thought they would lose, those 4, would be the trip to New England.
Yeah,
that's right.
Probably.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and who knew? And at the beginning of the season, who knew what the Patriots were going to be? You just knew going to New England, it was going to be a tough road, and playing back-to-back road games like that.
But you didn't factor in the weather.
Yeah,
being such a problem that you can't even judge where you are right now. And to me, that's we keep falling back on weather and you know where are we right now? To me, New England was just like a pause. It didn't prove us anything. It didn't show us anything. We didn't show them anything. You know, it was what it was. It's what we figured would happen. But we wanted to be in ideal conditions to where we could say, okay, well, our offense is better. Our
this is how
defense
we
is
match
better.
up with them.
We couldn't really judge that just based on the conditions that we were looking at.
I mean, it was kind of an even-Steven game if you kind of looked at it. I mean, they didn't do much offensively. The Cowboys helped them to at least 10 points. So, yeah, but I think you just gotta go forward, and these next couple games
Boy, you
are
sound
going to be
like
real
Jerry.
important.
You've been hanging with Jerry, man. You gotta go forward. Wow,
That's right.
That's the tagline. You sound like the Republicans, man.
I was going to say we need to be great again, you know.
Wow. Wow, man.
I was going to say I need to be great today, all right? No mistakes.
Back to football. I would say this, it was a close loss. It shows you the expectations of this team. You lose by 4 points at New England, and you know this thing it's controversy around here because they've lost now to 4 teams with winning records. They're 0-4 in those situations, and it's just like the Minnesota game though, where you feel like late in the game you had a chance to win it. Questions about the special teams, questions about the play calling, and then Jerry comes out and voices frustration, and that's where we are. I mean, I think if you take a big picture look at it, they're right where they could be in terms of trying to win the division. Everything's still in front of them, but they feel like there's missed opportunities, and you still feel, and the players say it too. They don't feel like they've played their best football yet, and so as Jason Witten said yesterday, we're all frustrated. You know, he said Jerry's right to feel that way, and it involves the players too. We got to execute better. So there's good stuff, but I don't think anybody feels like this team's where they need to be right now.
Well, because they got so much hype. There was so much hype in the offseason. Everybody just championship game or bust.
Yeah.
We're still there, no matter how much we're screwing up right now.
Best
we're
talent
still in
since the 90s.
All this talent we have. Let me tell you something, guys. If you get a good defensive back on a good wide receiver, I don't care how much talent you have. If I'm a good defensive back, you're going to have some problems. I don't have to be Everson Walls or Mike Haynes or Lester Hayes. I could just be a good, solid defensive back, and I could upset your entire game plan. Mm-hmm. So let's just be real about how we've got so much talent to nobody else can compare. Obviously, they can. So we need to realize that this season, every game, it's got to come from the heart, guys. Let's just be real. We can't go out there and outthink anybody. We got to go out there and outfight them. And I thought the Patriots game, rain or shine, I wanted to see them outfight. Okay, whether we won or not, we talked about it before the game. All we wanted to see was fight in the game. We wanted to see effort. We were hoping to see better coaching. We were hoping to see fewer mistakes. But I wanted to see what kind of heart they had as they went up to New England. Are you going to be afraid? Are you going to choke under the pressure? Whether it's rain, whether it's defense, whether it's Brady or Belichick, how are you going to respond? That's what I wanted to see.
And the defense responded. I mean, well, I guess both defenses responded.
They had no
that
choice.
Game,
Can't nobody stand up.
Yeah, they had a little help, right?
And we tripped them. So come on.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started again.
And so, starting tomorrow now, they need to show that fight. That's one thing that in the last few years there's always been a crisis point in a season, and this team has responded in the regular season 3 out of the last 5 years to come back and win a division. But
7 straight last year. 7.
7-1 down the stretch.
Down the
That's right. The Indianapolis game was the one in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and there was definitely a crisis going on at that point after the Tennessee game last year, and they responded. Okay, even a couple of years ago, the horrible November that they had when Zeke was going through his suspension. And I remember interviewing Dak Prescott right after the Thanksgiving game, and I was taken aback by how confident he was after those 3 straight games in which they could do absolutely nothing.
3 games in single digits of points, I think.
Oh, it was awful.
It was
horrible.
Stretch.
I was like, how in the world can you be confident about the future now?
I tried to forget those, BJ.
Right?
I really was trying to forget that moment.
But
those
I interviewed Dak,
times.
and I came out of that going, they actually got a chance to get back in this thing, and they did. And it came right down to the Seattle game right before Christmas. Yep. And the year before that, they won the division. So 3 out of the last 5 years, they've won the division when they've been in a crisis point in the season. And now we're going to see if for the first time since 2004, there will be a repeat champion of the NFC East. It will depend on how the Cowboys respond. And the Cowboys have the chance to be a repeat winner and be the first time since the Eagles back in 2004 that we've had a repeat winner in the NFC East.
See, and that's why this is kind of a weird situation. I don't know how you guys look at it, as I might be off base here.
You probably are.
So is everybody mad because they're not very good and they're 6-5, or is everybody mad is they're too good to be 6-5?
Yeah, that's it.
It's the latter. It's definitely
it's the expectations for this team.
Because the talent is better than 6-5.
Well,
now, if they were 7-4 right now, had they won that game against the Jets, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but Jerry brought it up, by the way. The one loss that
we really had no chance,
right.
Even in the end, right? Is that?
I mean,
I would look at that game as the one that
lose the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, even Packers was bad. We came out bad, but we still had a chance. But the Jets, that was definitely our low point,
especially looking at what their record was, and then what they did the next week and the next week, and you got to make up for that loss. And a chance to make up for it was New England. You didn't get it done. Now, what's the next chance to make up for it? Probably have to beat the Rams. And I think everybody thought at the beginning of the year, well, that's a loss. I guarantee you, whoever filled out those schedules, they got to the Rams and checked an L there. Now it's not an L. They're the same as you are. And they're
no, they're worse.
Yeah,
they're worse. Oh, the Rams have taken a fall.
They just lost. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That deal Monday night was just unbelievable.
So, in other words, it's the Bills.
Yeah.
You got to beat the Bills.
You got to beat the Bills. That's it.
Exactly.
I don't know what their approach was in the previous years where they made this streak. Of course, there's confidence and all that, but you had to make an analytical change in whatever you're doing. And I don't know what they've done in the past to make that happen, but they better repeat it this year.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about the Bills' schedule, and Everson, you pointed out that they haven't played a tough schedule on paper at all. You look at their personnel, though, it's a good team.
Good team.
And that's the team with a lot of motivation, because I just went back and looked at their past record history. I think this is an opportunity for them to make the playoffs. 2 of the last 3 years, you go back beyond that, it's been like 20 years.
Hey,
they're trying to rebuild something here.
I was looking at this last night. I'm glad you brought it up. Since Wade Phillips coached the Buffalo Bills, 1999, they made the playoffs, and I think that was the game in Tennessee.
Oh my God.
The playoff game,
The Music City
Miracle, where they lost. Okay, since 1999. But prior to that, 88 to 99, which included 4 straight Super Bowl losses. Okay, you're very familiar with Everson. Mm-hmm. They had 9 out of 12 seasons in which they had 10 or more wins. Since 1999, the Buffalo Bills franchise has had 3 seasons that they have had a winning record. And in those 3 seasons, their record has been 9-7. 3 years in basically 20 years that they've had a winning record, and they've won 9 games in those 3 years. And 04, in 2014, and 2017. And here they're looking at, if they can win tomorrow, it's their 9th win of the year.
That looks like a mix shot for today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep.
I don't mind stealing.
But how about that?
Good research, Bill.
Marv Levy, where have you gone?
How many coaches have they gone through since Marv Levy?
And didn't Wade have like 2 winning seasons out of the 3 he was there?
And they fired him.
And they fired him.
Mm-hmm. Careful what you ask for.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And so the coaches that they've had since then have included.
That was going to be my next question.
Okay, I just went back over the last 10 years, starting with Chan Gailey in 2010, and then it was Doug Marrone, and then Rex Ryan, and now Sean McDermott, who's doing a good job with them. Mm-hmm. But you go back the previous decade, Dick Duran was one. I'm trying to remember myself.
I can't.
It's hard. It's hard to remember.
So you're saying after Wade?
Yeah, after Wade. Yeah, it gets.
Oh, Ryan always brought Dennis Thurman with him everywhere he went when he coached back then, because it was the Jets first, then he went to Buffalo. Both of them were failed campaigns, but having just seeing Dennis Thurman on the sidelines of Thurman's Thieves, that was always good to see him.
Yeah, but really with Buffalo, since right before Rex was there for 2 years, they've been hovering around 500. It's like they haven't been 2-14 to get the top pick in the draft.
No, they were always
right
that
around
team
500,
that was
but they're
very
just below.
unremarkable.
Mm-hmm.
They were always very unremarkable.
Right.
Defensively, they were okay. Offensively, they weren't, and that was always the problem offensively.
All right, one other note before we take a break. Darren Woodson is a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the 4th time. That was announced yesterday. I think it's 3 times in the last 4 years.
4 times he's been?
A semifinalist. Top 25. Top 25.
And it's a 20-man class this year, so maybe there's more of an opportunity. But I think it's 5 modern-era guys getting out. I don't know if is that more than usual?
No, that's about the same.
So it's about
the same.
So it's not.
It's all about us senior guys. Yeah, they're trying to get us out of the way before we start dying off. That's all it is, man.
Because I think 10 of those are going to get in. 10 seniors.
You're talking about guys played back in the freaking 30s, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're still alive.
It's like they're playing catch-up, right?
Yeah, okay. They're catching up with the grandkids. The grandkids are old now. All the seniors they're trying to put in.
Well, we got to get Everson in there.
Yes, we do.
Well, I can still walk. I want to still walk.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
Walk up there.
All right, we continue with more Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer, where you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses. You can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell? So. Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheered.
Just okay is not okay.
Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS 1 score September 2019.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
The Big 12 championship game is coming up a week from Saturday at AT&T Stadium. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and Everson Wall's favorite quarterback, Jalen Hurts, against the Baylor Bears. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Don't miss your opportunity to get tickets before they sell out. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com.
Who you got, BJ? Who you got?
Better be OU.
Okay.
Better be.
But
I have a feeling that Baylor's going to. I tell you what, Baylor's got a really good coach.
I think that is a great story. That is just an amazing story. You talk about Mr. Art, just kind of crapping on the whole program. And, this guy comes in. I thought they would be years before they came back.
It could have been an SMU type
It could have been.
Right?
I just think that is just such a great story.
Matt Rule came close to being the head coach of the New York Jets. He had a very good chance of getting that last year, and and you talk about Lincoln Riley being on the radar of NFL teams. I'm thinking Matt Rule ought to be right there at the head of the class.
Yeah, you have some coaches though that are in college. They're just better for college. I don't mean they're better fit for college. That means college is better off having those type of coaches. He seems like one of those type of coaches.
See, I think Lincoln Riley's that too. Yeah. I think one of his strengths is his recruiting, and so everyone talks about him being an NFL coach and so forth. And he has not. And one of the things you look at on that is, all right. It worked with Sean McVeigh, a young coach in the NFL. Well, Sean McVeigh, basically, as Tom Brady said, he came out of the womb hating the Cowboys. Well, Sean McVeigh came out of the womb preparing to be a National Football League coach. His grandfather, of course, was a coach in the NFL, one of the architects of the 49ers, though Bill Walsh gets all the credit. But Lincoln Riley, he's never basically set foot on an NFL campus. He's come out of the womb training to be a college head coach.
To me, I know I'm going back, but it's like Eddie Robinson. They touted him for the Rams job years ago, right after I left out. I think it was in the mid-'80s. And it just wouldn't have been a good fit. Yeah. He is made for college coaching.
Lincoln
He's made
is a great recruiter. There's a reason that they're getting such good recruiting classes. He really has a passion for recruiting too.
There you go.
All right, these Buffalo Bills.
Can I ask a question since you were on that? It dawned on me today, and maybe you guys know the answer. When's the last time a highly successful college coach who still had a job left that to come to the NFL to be a head coach?
Jimmy Johnson.
Well, you might be right.
Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Think about it.
And,
was Harbaugh successful?
Yeah.
Made to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No.
He had Andrew Luck, and he was winning 10, 11
yeah.
games.
Stanford.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Pete Carroll did pretty good.
Well, Pete Carroll was an NFL guy before.
Harbaugh.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. So how did he do?
Got to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, that 1 year.
Yeah, that 1 year.
What's
That was a
happening,
big year, though.
But what's happening
Who was his
now
quarterback?
is these college quarterbacks. I mean,
Let's
these
start some
college
crap. Who was his quarterback?
Alex Smith. No.
Yeah, Alex Smith.
these successful college coaches aren't leaving their jobs to go to the NFL.
There's a bunch of them who have not been successful. And Chip Kelly, once again, doesn't have UCLA in a bowl game as he's back now in the college ranks.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said for earning a state pension. Because you're getting a state
making
pension.
big money down there, too.
Right?
I mean, college coaches are getting paid.
It's like you don't have to leave to get a better paycheck, right?
Hey, so let's just say with players about to get paid now, will that cut into the coaches' salaries? That's why they don't want the kids to get paid.
I'm wondering how that's going to work.
And that is the money factor is a huge deal when you're talking about college coaches leaving a top 10 type program and this job security that you have there compared to this.
Well, you've got 4 different potential sources of income: gear, TV show, radio show, and your coaching salary alone.
That's a good point. But sometimes it's just, Saban did it, though. It's that brass ring, you want to try to see just how good you are, but when you get there, you don't get to pick every player you want because you're one of the top programs in the country. So you got to rely on the draft. You got to rely on free agents hoping to come to you. So
you have to take orders from your GM.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wonder what Saban would have been like if he had stayed, whether it's at the Dolphins or another NFL job, what kind of success he would have had over the last 12 years.
I think
as
somebody
a head coach
probably would have knocked
in the
him
NFL.
out. That's what I think. I think that's probably what happened. I love Nick, but I don't know. He doesn't do well with pros. You can talk to college kids like that, but when it comes to the pros, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
All right, these Buffalo Bills, Everson, in the first segment you talked about a defensive back can shut down a team. Well, the Bills got a pretty good defensive back, a corner, their first-round draft pick from 2017, Tre'Davious White, who has 4 picks on the season. That's one of the strengths of that team, and that defense is pretty strong.
They'll use him, too, to follow around their other team's best receiver, too. We saw that last week with Stephon Gilmore. I don't know if they're going to do that against Amari Cooper, but that's how much confidence they have.
How's Cooper feeling?
Seems like he's doing okay, right? He took part in yesterday's practice.
Yeah, but they really haven't practiced hard this week.
He was full participant last week. He did have 52 snaps in the game last week, which is a little bit less than what he is accustomed to. I wonder if they're trying to manage him a little bit. Not as much as they did the week before against Detroit, Mick. But
I think one of the things they did with him to manage that knee is when they knew they were going to load up and run the ball, they didn't have him out there.
Of course, yeah, we saw that.
They had Tavon out.
Yeah,
and
right?
that really it kind of contributed to a little negative commentary on Coop because everybody's thinking, because he's over there waiting to get back in the game,
right?
And he looks like, I don't want to get back in the game. But he's really just over there waiting for the coaches to call him back in. He's over there soaking, and it just looked bad. So everybody was thinking.
Soaking or sulking?
Interesting. And maybe both. And that's what it looked like. It looked like he was soaking while soaking. But, it was just, when you're out there soaking, then, you're going to soak. That shit comes along with it.
Witten kind of looked the same way on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, when
he
you're
was
in that
out
kind
the
of
same
weather,
series.
we all look like we're soaking as we're soaking. But I think I was still worried at that time if the effectiveness by Gilmore was contributed by the injuries that Amari had, just not being full strength. And so I was hoping they just wouldn't even practice him this week.
Well,
really.
somebody wrote a story that what affected him is playing on the road, that he doesn't play well on the road. And I'm going, okay, one road game in a downpour. He played 3 games on the road against the Jets, 3 plays in that game and came out. So they were comparing his road catches to his home catches, and it's like he just doesn't go on the road. I said, doesn't travel well?
We got to look at that. I'm sure that.
And and who are you playing too, right? Who's the corner you're going up against in some of those games? And the one game on the road,
Saints.
Yeah, the Saints, they didn't do anything offensively,
Nobody
right?
did. Yeah.
And then there was another road game where they were kind of controlling his snaps. They didn't want to overdo it. And I still think that's kind of what's been going on with him. But having said that, okay, he got shut out, right? Well, he had 2 catches called back by penalties. and they were significant catches.
Yes, they were.
And then you can argue about the big one at the 50-yard line at the end of the game. Did he have it? Did the ground cause it to move, or were his hands underneath the ball and then it popped up? So
I was as riding home. I hate listening to sports talk radio. I can't believe I'm one of you guys now.
Music.
I'm with you.
Especially after games.
After games.
Music.
So I just happened to, you know how it is. You get in the car, you're thinking, and then all of a sudden you hear somebody say something stupid. They tried to call it a drop.
Oh, no.
The guy called it a drop.
The fourth down incompletion?
The fourth down incompletion. It was considered, like the narrative is already, printed in stone. It was a drop. Like we already know this. It's a drop. And so that just, that's why I don't listen to you guys,
a ball
man.
that was soaking wet.
I am with you. There's a proverb about that. When you don't hear wisdom, get away from them. All right. How about this? Because it's interesting. I haven't looked at the home and road splits for Amari Cooper this season because I just hear the narrative out there. I hear it asked by reporters in press conferences or in the locker room or whatever, and I just assume, okay, they must know what they're talking about. All right, and so I'm sitting here looking at his game-by games this season, okay, and these are his road games. At Washington, he had 4 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown, okay? Yeah, it's not huge, but got a touchdown on 4, and they won the game 31-21. No problem on offense, okay? Next road game was at New Orleans, which was a 12-10 game. He had 5 catches for 48 yards, which isn't big numbers at all, but okay.
That was typical of the offense, period.
Right, that's the way that game went. The Jets, as Mickey mentioned, he was in for 3 plays in that game. He had 1 catch for 3 yards, which is pretty good right there. If he was in for 60 plays, he'd have 60 catches.
Jeez. Too much optimism, Bill.
At the Giants, okay, at the Giants. Only 4 catches, but 80 yards and a touchdown.
Oh,
which came to 20 yards a catch.
Yeah, 20 yards a catch. And then at Detroit, 3 for 38, which wasn't okay. So he's got... Of his touchdowns this season, 3 of them have come in road games.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's dealing with some stuff right now. It's started since training camp. He's had a lot of little lower leg stuff, and this is a tough stretch for him. I think nobody's gonna enjoy that 10-day break after the Chicago game more than he is. And they just got to get him through.
Good. So true.
They just got to get him through
to the Chicago game.
Yeah, right.
See, the difference is on the home games, he's had 4 100-yard games, and so people look at that and say, "Oh, there's a huge difference between home and road for him."
It's always a difference between home and road, whether it's a team situation, an individual situation. Everyone plays better at home. That's just the way it is. And the timing itself, the timing itself with the injuries and all of that. And, sometimes our offensive output can be a little shady. So he's just a victim.
And you watch when he gets 9 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns tomorrow. How come you play so much better at home?
It'll increase the narrative, right?
That's exactly right. All right. What else concerns you about this Buffalo team?
How are their special teams?
The returners are good.
Good.
Yeah.
Andre Roberts.
Yes.
Out of the Citadel.
I saw him last week. Yes, he did well last week. I saw that.
What you looking up, Mick?
I was looking up their return yards, and
you have to be a little quicker than that, Mickey.
It might be. They might show up. The Minnesota game might show up here.
Preseason. Let's see what they did in the preseason.
Yeah, how'd they do in August?
Yeah. Since you're reading out all stats.
Oh, God.
See, this is about analytics, okay? If Mickey's looking at his analytics there, and it's not happening quick enough. That's why you can't be listening to the analytics guy in your headset, Mickey, right, during the game.
Their stats are weird.
I saw on Twitter last night, I saw just your face, Mick, and it said, the most knowledgeable person of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, you know what I did?
I said, wow.
Did you know what I did this morning to get back at him?
No.
Douglas and I were clowning around, and I said, "Oh, okay, Stone Age." I said, "When we start the show today, I'm going to have the theme song from the Flintstones playing."
Did you?
Crack them up.
Good.
Just crack them up, especially when the Yabba Dabba Doo thing came up.
Stone Age Mick.
I was a little worried that it would go right over their heads, like they didn't know what it was.
The theme song from what?
The opening of the Flintstones. Flintstones.
No, I thought you said Flintstones at first.
Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Meet the Flintstones.
Yes.
Man.
Our man, Mickey Spagnola.
Thank you.
The Bills on defense.
Strong tackling team. They got good linebackers. Jordan Phillips is a problem, to quote Bill
The
Belichick.
Oklahoma Sooner has 7 sacks from an interior defensive line. He is a monster. He's 340 pounds. Yeah, no one knew that. Yeah, how about
they don't
that?
show in college.
Yeah, that's right.
Different type of defensive tackle than the Cowboys deploy, but he's productive. And I saw a stat where the Bills lead the league in negative plays defensively, both tackles for losses and sacks. They actually have one more than San Francisco. So run game's got to be sharp, got to protect Dak, and minus plays, plus penalties, pre-snap penalties have really affected this offense, especially earlier in the game.
You got to know if they're all these negative yards for plays, then you're talking about an aggressive front line, front seven possibly.
Yeah, Jordan Phillips has been like that even in college. He's a penetrator. Even at 6'6", 341 pounds is what he's listed at.
He's a load.
And he's got 10 tackles for loss. Now, and Ed Oliver, their first-round draft pick out of Houston.
University of Houston.
So Phillips is 6'6", 341. Oliver is 6'1", 287.
Yes,
but he's like an Aaron Donald type.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
So they got 2 long kick returns, 66 yards by Roberts and Hyde, 45 yards, and their average. So that'll help your average because you don't have that many kickoff returns.
We're back on special
but
teams.
They're averaging 29.2. Yeah,
he found the.
I found the page.
Just found it. It took him 5 minutes.
Well, we read through the entire preseason.
Normally, when you have stats, all the offensive stats are on the front page, and now this one's on special.
Mickey, how'd they do on special teams in that big win over the Vikings?
I think Roberts had a return for a touchdown.
Was that August the 28th or 20th? Which one was that?
That's right.
Which week was that?
How'd that return guy who's now at Home Depot, how'd he do in that game?
No, but what you see is now, if you got that aggressive front line, you got to look for screens. We have to have our screen game on. We've got who's going up against Foster? Who's the matchup with Foster on the O-line?
That's a good question.
He's inside interior?
Yeah, so it would be...
Wait, I'm lost.
Foster. We're looking at the D lineman for Buffalo, and
Phillips?
I'm asking the matchup that...
Phillips.
No, who's going to match up with Foster, the defensive lineman for Buffalo? Offensively, who goes against Foster on our offensive line?
Okay. Jordan Phillips, you mean? The guy that I was talking about.
Yeah, I thought Foster was for Buffalo.
No, Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's a defensive tackle.
Travis Frederick.
Who's ever inside.
Right.
So that's where their pressure comes from up the middle.
Jack Martin, Connor Williams. Yeah. Starlo Tulele has 2 sacks the last 2 games. And Oliver, by the way, 2 of his 3 sacks have come in the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. So.
Who was that against?
Miami was one of them. They had like 5-6 sacks against Miami. And in Denver last week.
If we don't count ours, then we don't count
That's
that
right.
Miami
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so all of these stats we're throwing at you, they don't matter because the Bills have not beaten a team with a winning record this season, right?
Not in the regular season. Nope.
Nope, not in the regular season.
Not in the regular season.
We established that. All right, we continue.
Hey, that was yesterday.
We continue with more Talking Cowboys and Mickey's Read of the Day when we come back.
Oh, that's what I look forward to.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson Hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team. Get yours today in the Stadium Pro Shop or at Stetson.com.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if we play like we cheer.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One score, September 2019.
Essilor is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, helping fans see more and do more with our best vision solutions. Our lens technologies reveal a world more beautiful than you can imagine. For a limited time, get the Essilor Next Gen offer. When you buy the latest generation of Transitions lenses with select Essilor lenses, you can choose a second pair of clear lenses for free with qualifying frame purchases. Restrictions apply. Find a participating eye care professional by visiting EssilorUSA.com. Essilor. See more, do more.
So, you're shopping, and that's when you see it. Aisle 23. Dr. Pepper stacked from top to bottom as far as the eye can see. The phrase too good to be true comes to mind, yet there it is. A rich, delicious Dr. Pepper paradise. Wait, did that can of Dr. Pepper just open itself for you? They all are. As if to say, so nice to treat you. And even though it feels weird to talk to a can, you pick one up and say, it's so nice to be treated. Dr. Pepper, so nice to treat you.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
So if you're looking for an early Christmas gift, you need to go to getjackblack.com and you need to get the closer set right here.
You got a prop.
Look how neat this thing is,
stuff.
huh?
Okay.
So what you get is one of their unique razors. You get beard lube, along with
Not beer
double duty face moisturizer. And that's because no one knows shaving like Jack. Go to getjackblack.com.
Yeah, at first I didn't know beard was a major component of shaving. Yesterday I kind of went home and looked that up.
What came up?
It was not what you want to hear.
No?
No, talking about beer and lube. Yeah, it came up pretty fast. Yeah, so I just stopped.
It wasn't Miller Lite?
I now keep a six-pack in the shower with me when I shave. That
Don't
way
you
that beer lube.
drink beer when you go take a shower?
Okay, we continue now here on Talking Cowboys, and we should point out the Buffalo Bills coaches during last decade after Wade Phillips. They were Greg Williams, Mike Mularkey, Dick Geron, and then into this decade, it was Chan Gailey, it was Rex Ryan, it was Doug Marrone. Mm-hmm. Anthony Lynn was actually an interim head coach for one game. Of course, he's now the Los Angeles Chargers head coach out of Texas Tech University, Salina, Texas.
So was it the last game of the season?
I think it probably was. That was the game that Tyrod Taylor, as you were pointing out, may have been in the break, you pointed out that Tyrod was benched in favor of Nathan Peterman.
That's right.
Who may be at Home Depot now.
He's actually on the practice squad he's on IR for the Raiders.
Oh.
Yeah, like
he still could be at Home Depot now.
Like we said, yeah, Home Depot. Yeah, that's his other job.
Okay, it's the return of Cole Beasley.
Yes.
Excited about the return of Cole Beasley.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice matchup. What, Jordan Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would think, Cole Beasley, I'm looking at snap counts, and they apparently go a lot, three receiver sets. Buffalo does.
Yep.
A lot.
Was he like 60-some%?
Well, he's the last couple of games. I looked at snap counts the last couple of games, and he had 64 snaps, and John Brown had 70 snaps. 65 last week, and John Brown 74. So they're leading snap count guys at wide receiver.
For a minute there, he had a nice little streak going. I think maybe 3 straight games for a touchdown.
Yeah, and he had one last week too against Denver.
One last week too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And a lot like here. He's the guy they look to on third down to move the chains. He's got that underneath guy, very reliable. I think he's second on team.
68.5% of the snaps.
There you go.
Well, quickly, Cobb or hot sauce?
You know what? Cobb didn't cost $29 million. And that's what his 4-year deal was, $29 million. Cobb's costing $5 million for 1 year.
Contract aside.
Yeah.
Just performance. Contract aside.
I've always been a Randall Cobb guy.
Me too.
Nothing against Cole Beasley.
Nothing against our homeboy.
He's a different type of slot receiver because the run after catch is, I think, what makes him different. It's not just
meaning Cobb.
The little 10-yard out and okay, fine, I got 10, right? Now, Beasley's gotten downfield, he was
He's
good
gotten
for what they
downfield
needed
for
him.
Buffalo just a little bit as well.
Yeah,
That's why I'm wondering if they're using him outside a little bit, too.
When I watched, he was mostly in the slot. But in terms of yards per catch, Mick, Cobb is second among all Cowboys skill players this year. I think 240 yards after catch, behind only Zeke, which you kind of expect that given the types of routes Zeke runs. So that's probably a little bit of a different dimension, but I think Cole was a big loss that they had to replace. And Cobb's been able to do that because Cole, I think, I looked it up, he was their top third down guy last year for Dak, and Cobb is this year as well.
Right.
So that's a guy that Dak looks to, and it's a whole quarterback-friendly thing. He's very quarterback-friendly. I mean, he's had some drops this year, but I think overall, he's been what they expected.
Losing somebody like Cole and replacing him with Cobb, we were extremely blessed.
Pretty good front office stuff,
blessed.
right? Yes. And he probably leads the league in touchdowns called back by penalty.
He has been due.
That's 4, I think.
I heard.
Yep.
The Bills have small wide receivers. Beasley's 5'8", 174. John Brown's 5'11", 178. And their third receiver, Isaiah McKenzie, 5'8", 173.
So no backdoor fades, right? No back shoulder fades.
But keep an eye out for Dawson Knox, their tight end, who is 6'4", 254. He moves like a wide receiver. Third-round draft pick out of Ole Miss.
I got to say, we have had problems with our interior man-to-man coverage. Linebackers have not been doing a good job at that as far as matchups are concerned. And I mean, in critical situations, red zone, things of that nature. We always look at overall stats. But my thing is there are certain times in the game where you got to make a stop. And that's when the tight ends and the linebackers really have taken control of the running backs and the tight ends in coverage in the red zone.
And Josh Allen, the quarterback, we've talked about earlier in the week. Rob's pointed out his running ability, and he's got a touchdown run. He's on the season. He's got 7 touchdown runs.
Leads the team.
And
it's 7 of 11 games. He's got to rush over 10 yards, and they use him in some of the zone read stuff.
How big is he, guys?
He is 6'5", 237 pounds.
Big QB.
He can sling it.
It's a lot like Driscoll, and that's why I think my pick to click, if I got to pick one, it's got to be Sean Lee, because I think, and the linebackers, because they got to be aware of him.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Devin Singletary is an impressive young running back for them. Big, powerful back, got good vision. Tackling is going to come at a premium, Everson.
They're going to come at us with the running game. They're going to come at us with the running game. You might well be ready for it.
Aren't they like third in the league or fifth in the league in rushing? They're pretty high in the rankings.
They are 5th in the league in rushing.
Pretty good on my part.
So you know what they're going to do. They're going to come at us. They're going to make this a boring
They're averaging 139 yards a game rushing, and a lot of that has to do with what Allen does. And Singletary's averaging 5.8 a carry. So, yeah, they're going to run. Now, what surprised me is everybody's talking about the year Frank Gore is having, right? Well, he's rushed for 541 yards.
I think that's based more on it's just amazing that in year
that
15 in the league.
And still has 500-something yards.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
But they're grooming,
if you're 25, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you're 35, that's a whole different thing.
Right.
Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer.
So you better watch the running game. Because that's what's...
No, they're going to control the tempo of this game with their running game. That's how they're going to come out. You want to keep Dak Prescott and this offense off the field.
Right.
That's the way the coaches are going to approach this game.
Especially when the Cowboys are at home, right?
Mm-hmm. Especially at home.
And it's going to be raining outside, but there's a roof here in 2019.
So then why mention that, Mick?
Because there wasn't a roof last week.
It does matter to those who are coming to town and aren't aware of what the weather situation is going to be tomorrow.
And it's projected like rain all day.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Time to make our picks. You got Sean Lee as your pick to click?
Yeah.
I'm going defensively as well. Yep. I have to go with Malik Woods. When I saw how effective he could be.
Collins.
I'm sorry, Collins. Thank you, Malik Woods. I'm thinking of.
And by the way, Antoine Woods is out with his injury, but Malik Collins.
Van Der Esch
Malik Collins showed me how effective he can be the way he played last week. And we're going to need him to clog up that middle, because when those offensive linemen start getting out on our linebackers, first of all, the defensive lineman's already beat. They're past him. The linebacker's already shut off. That's how you get the crease. You talk about Lombardi talking about seal here, up the alley. That's what we've been getting hit with all year long. And Malik Collins would be the one, I think, to help remedy that situation.
And here's a thought on that, too. So with Antoine Woods out, everybody's talking about, well, Tristan Hill's going to be active. Covington's going to take a spot.
Covington made a good boy. Yeah.
But last week, or I keep saying last Sunday, Michael Bennett played his most snaps so far. He had 50-some snaps before everything was in the 40s. So I would imagine you're going to see him out there a little bit more. And maybe one of the reasons why Collins was so active, when Bennett was in there with him, they were double and triple teaming him. They did not want him to mess up anything, but he was still getting a push. I got to give it to him for effort. His effort is amazing when he's out there. Somebody asked today about how he kind of walks around and it's real slow and kind of his own man. But when he's on the field, there ain't nothing slow about him.
That's Texas guys. That's all Texas guys. He's from East Texas. Yeah. That's my dad. That's what they are. Okay, you might be a whole county of those guys.
So your pick to click?
My pick to click.
This isn't a new thing we just started.
I am going to do what I did.
Compartmentalized.
That's right. Thank you. Everson knows I'm a deep thinker.
You want me to give mine?
He got to go to the next block in his mind.
Since they're at home and there's a roof, I'm going with Amari Cooper.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. I'm going to go Jordan Lewis. Okay.
Interesting.
Jordan Lewis going to make a pick, and he's going to make some plays. And
that's fun going against an old teammate. It's got to be.
They have practiced. They've practiced this so many times. It's going to be like going back home.
Especially when this is real, because when they practice against each other hard, it's training camp, right? During the season, it's scout team.
Yep. Yeah, but during training camp, that's when
you
it's
go
real.
after each
That's
other,
when it's
right?
real. Yeah.
So is it going to be a happy Thanksgiving post-game
be,
interview for Jerry Jones
It
tomorrow?
shall be. It shall be.
I agree with Everson. I mean, I think everybody's talking about Jerry's putting everybody on notice this week. And, he's made some critical comments, but I think this team's already – the motivation is there. They feel like they're better than their record. I think they get back on track at home. They've played better at home. I think they get this one.
When you put in this much money and your team is playing the way it is, you better say something.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, everybody's going to wonder, where's Jerry? So,
how did he do for the Red Kettle campaign this morning? Jerry. Did he do interviews with you guys?
That's where I heard them talking about it's time to win football games.
Yeah. And they will. 31-17 Cowboys.
31-17. Okay. What was your score, Rob?
I'll go 28-24.
28-24 Cowboys.
That's too many. I think that's too high.
Too high?
They're going to control this game. They're going to try to keep the scores down the way they always have all year. They might score 21 points. I look at 21-17.
21-17. And what does Super Bowl Bill pick? The road to the Super Bowl. The road to the Super Bowl starts tomorrow at AT&T Stadium against the Buffalo Bills, and we're going to have a flashback to Super Bowl 27, a 52-17 Cowboys win.
Wow.
Michael Bennett is going to pick up a fumble and run it all the way to the end zone, and Cole Beasley is going to knock the football out of the end zone into the red kettle. Otherwise, it'd be 59-17. Instead, it's 52-17.
Will he jump
Thinking of you, Leon Lett.
That's right.
Thinking of you,
That's
Leon
right.
Lett. Yes.
And that does it for your Thanksgiving edition of Talking Cowboys. And we will catch you again on Monday, getting you ready for the Chicago Bears. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'll be sleeping till Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?